Hi everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as Raggedyroyal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to apply faux lashes. I have an older video way back, being 2 years ago, when I actually had my colored lash collection come out. And so I decided to update it and show you how to apply lashes. Before you get into this video, please make sure that you put mascara on your lashes first. Do your top and your bottom mascara before you put your lashes on. Yeah, you can put it on after, but I feel like the mascara changes the integrity of your lash hairs. So it starts to look uneven depending on how you apply mascara onto your faux lashes and all of that. So put your mascara on first. Give this video a like, make sure you're subscribed, and let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so the lashes that we're going to be using are actually my favorite lashes right now. And these are You Do You from the Kiss Lash Drip Collection. I want to say they were $4.99 at Ulta. So they are drugstore and they are affordable. And they are stuck in the packaging. These are my favorite lashes because I like a more wispy lash. I don't like the lashes that are a little bit too dense. So dense meaning like the hairs are finely packed. So it'd be very thick and more black along the lash line. I like them to have a little wisp to them. And I like them to be a little bit long. Because usually I have on a dramatic eye look. And the little lashes, they just don't stand a chance next to all the cut creases and glitters and rhinestones and rainbow looks. So these are my favorite right now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take one lash off at a time. I like to start with the left lash, so the one right here. And how you take it off is very important. So you're going to take your thumb and you're going to lightly press along the lash to pull it off. Now the reason why you do not want to take one in and rip it completely off is lashes are fragile, and when you do that, first of all, it loses a little bit of its shape, a little bit of its bend. Second of all, it will break off. Simply put, it will break off, and that causes a load of problems, and sometimes like it's really not even solvable. You know, whenever I make a YouTube video and a makeup tutorial, I always want to say like you can solve anything, but really if the lash breaks in half, like that's a lot more steps. That's nearly unsolvable. So you want to make sure that you press and push along the cartridge so that the lash loosens and you don't have to pull it off. It's important to remember which one is which. And honestly, a good rule of thumb is on the innermost corner of the lash is going to be shorter. So as you can see, it's shorter on this end compared to this end here. So that's a pretty good rule of thumb. If you ever feel like, oh my gosh, I can't tell which lash is which, look at the inner corners, and the shorter inner corners will usually be for the inside of the eye. Trimming the lash. Trimming the lash is a very important step. You want to make sure that the lash is the same length as your eye. And the reason why you want to do this is if the lash is too long, first of all, it's not going to have enough eye to adhere to, and it's going to make it droopy, or it's going to make it bend in the middle, and it's just going to not look the way that you want it to look. The inside of the lash will also start coming up, especially if it has nothing to adhere to. So it will start flapping, and that can cause irritation in your eye because it can start, you know, bumping against this in your eye, bumping against this inner corner, bumping against the skin. And also when you have a flapping eyelash, you can just kind of feel it, you can see it, it's irritating. So make sure that you trim it perfectly to the eye so that it is the same length of the eye, it looks better, it feels better, all of the above. So here's how I trim the eyelash. So I'm going to take the eyelash, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the outer corner. So I'm going to turn the eyelash upside down. The outer corner is going to be the corner that is the longest hairs. Remember that. So what I'm going to do is I like to go in and count. So if you look at your lash, you look closely, you can see that there are these gaps, right? So it's like a bunch of hairs here, then a gap, a bunch of hairs here, then a gap, a bunch of hairs here, then a gap. So I like to count them by bunches. The reason why it's important to count how much you cut off is because you're going to have to cut off the other lash, and you make sure that it's even. So I'm going to take off about 1.5 inches. So where the indentation is, and then 1/2. I'm going to cut that there. That's just because I know the size of my eye, and usually 1.5 inches or 2 bunches is perfect. So what you're going to do is put it on the eye, and as you can see, I haven't put no glue on there yet, so it looks a little crazy, but the fit is perfect to the eye. So I'm going to place this one down and pick up and repeat the steps on the other side. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to look for the bunches. I'm going to go 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to put it on the eye. I think this one might be a smidge too long. I might have cut it a hair too short. Also, my eyes are just not perfectly the same. They're not perfectly the same length. But yes, that looks better. Okay. Also, the reason why you want to make sure that you trim them right and make sure that they're even is because they will look different on the eye. So say, for example, you cut 2 bunches on this side and a bunch and a half on this side. That end piece is going to look different because of where you cut it. So you want to make sure that they are as even as possible. Lashes are a thing that when they're uneven, it'll make your eye look uneven. It'll make one eye look bigger than the other. It'll make one eye look more closed, more droopy. It can make your eyeliner look different if you're wearing eyeliner. So this part is really important. And this is the part that I'm like, I gotta be careful. Usually I'm like, I can just, go fast and fix anything. You gotta be careful when it comes to trimming the lashes. Now that the lashes are trimmed to my liking, I am going to take out my eyelash glue. And this is my favorite eyelash glue. It is also from Ulta, or I love to buy it from the beauty supply store. This is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. It's clear and it's a brush on. I like the brush on applicators because I feel like they are way easier to disperse the glue along the lash line. As you can see, lashes are small, lash lines are even smaller. So dragging a squeeze tube that is basically based off of how much pressure you put on it across that line often, has the glue spilling over, having way too much glue in onto the hairs. Once the glue gets onto the hairs, some hairs are sticking together, some hairs aren't, which is going to make it look different than the other eye. So that is why I like the brush on adhesive, and I will show you mine. And I like clear. I feel like black lash glue is for experts, and even if you're an expert, I feel like I don't know why you use black lash glue. Seems very unnecessary. Even if you're doing black, even if you want it to be black underneath it, I'd rather just go over on top of it with eyeliner, because black lash glue really leaves no room for error, no room for mistakes, and I don't like to take those type of risks when it comes to your lashes, because it's usually the last part of your makeup routine. So especially for beginners, I always say just get the clear. And yes, I like this more than duo lash glue. Duo lash glue doesn't really stick as well for me. So what you're going to do is I'm going to go along the lash line with the glue. Then I'm going to place it down, pick up the other, and do the same. Okay, so in your lashes, especially when they're the first wear out of the pack, which means this is your first time that you open these lashes, first time you wore them, you want to make sure that they get tacky. And if you watch any makeup tutorials, you've heard the word tacky. Tacky just means a little bit sticky to the touch. When you first apply the glue, it's going to be like a liquid. You let it dry for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how much glue you added, and then you want to put the glue on there. The reason why you want it to be tacky is because you want to adhere better. When it's just very liquidy and not as sticky, it's going to slide around on your eye, and that's going to make a mess, because if you get glue on your lid, it's going to get stuck. Like your crease is going to, when you look up, it's going to get stuck. If you have makeup right there, it's going to mess it up. So just wait a second, let it get tacky. This eyelash, I think we should be good. Yeah, I think we should be good. I'm going to apply the right lash first, and what you're going to do is you're going to take it to the crease and lower it behind your lashes. So I'm going to take it right to where the crease is and then just slide it down behind the lashes. A vertical movement. Make sure that you are behind those lashes, not in front of those lashes. I know some people go in front of the lashes. I wouldn't recommend that. So usually where the issue is now is the outer corner. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index finger and my thumb, and what I like to do is just pinch it into place. So if I want to lower it, I'm going to pinch it into place here. And it's actually stuck to my real lashes. That happens. So I'm going to pull it up and then place it right back down. I'm going to do the same in my inner corner. And you want to make sure that there is no space. So what you're going to do is you're just going to look down and make sure that the lash is secure all along the lash line. There we go. Now we're going to apply the other lash. Do the same thing. Take it to the crease. And then we're going to go right down vertically behind the lash. And now I'm going to pinch it into place. Usually it's the outer corners and the inner corners that you have to pinch. And as you can see, I didn't have it sliding around. I didn't have too many problems with it sticking because I let it get tacky first. JK. It looked perfect, but when I tell you that you need to go through the mirror and look at what parts are secured, it looked perfect, but it was not secure, and that's because I think I let the glue sit for a little bit too long. It's such a hard like space because you want to let it sit for a second, but not too long because then it's not gonna stick to the eyelid. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more glue, no problem. I'm going to take it to the crease and slide it on down. Now, if you don't want to use your fingers, if you have long nails, if you have nails that have gems on them, or they might be a little bit hard, you don't want to use your fingers, you can always use tweezers. I personally like my fingers more because I like to just feel the lash and maneuver it how I want to maneuver it. If you want to use tweezers, you can do those as well. You can use those as well. Now that both lashes are on, I'm going to give you a tip because I like to give you tips for if things don't go exactly how they're supposed to go when you're watching tutorial. If you have done this tutorial and you feel like you still see space in between where your lash line and your lashes are, that happens all the time, even to me, and I've been wearing lashes for years and years and years. Here's a quick tip. Instead of getting frustrated and crying and then having to restart your entire makeup, what you're going to do is you're going to take a felt tip liner or even a liquid liner. I like felt tip more because it's a little bit more control. This is actually an eyebrow pinned, but I just want to show you exactly how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to just color in between where you see gaps in the lash line. You're just going to color right in there, and then that's going to create less space. It's going to look black and it's going to look like your eyelashes blend. That's still a good eyelash blending tool. Of course, like I said before, you're going to use mascara on your real lashes before you start this makeup tutorial and before you start putting on your lashes, so that will also help it blend. But if you feel like there's some gaps, get you a black liner, fill it in, and go. All right, don't stress about it too much. Sometimes it's just a little bit of space. I would say if you're gonna do it on one eye, do it on the other, because if you color this eye in and there's all black on the lash line and there's nothing on this side, it's gonna be noticeable and it's gonna make your eyes look uneven and not true to how your eyes really look. So make sure you do it on both sides, but do not stress about that. And yeah, so here are the lashes. Here's how to apply your lashes. If you have any questions, let me know down below. If you learn anything new, let me know down below. Please give this video a like and watch more videos like these on my YouTube channel. I've made a bunch of makeup tutorials recently, so check those out and subscribe, please. Actually, most of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so go ahead and double check that you're subscribed now, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Oh, if you want to follow me on any socials, they're all at Raggedyroyal. I do makeup and a lot of other cool day-to-day stuff. So check me out on there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.